Good morning. My name is Bo Rutledge, and I have the honor of serving as the Dean of the School of Law. I'm pleased to welcome each of you here for the commencement exercises for the class of 2019. At this time, I ask you to ensure that your cell phones are turned off or placed on silent. And as you are able, remain standing for the presentation of the national and state colors by members of the university's Reserve Officer Training Corps, and then remain standing as Mr. William Gaskins, a member of the class of 2021 who just finished his exams and is leaving for Washington, D.C. in about 2 hours, sings the national anthem.
Teacher, present arms.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous night o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Soldier! Order! Arm! Right. Face! Forward! March! Up!
You may be seated. You can sing yea all you'd like. Thank you, William. Members of the class of 2019, today is your day. Congratulations on reaching this milestone in your life. A couple of years ago, I likened your legal education to climbing a Himalaya. Exhausting, exhilarating, periodically perilous, full of fond memories at base camp, and replete with the periodic treacherous ice pit and the beautiful vista. And like any good hike up a Himalaya, it's best undertaken in a group and with some Sherpas who have trod the paths before you and also know you. On behalf of the 125 hardworking staff and faculty at the School of Law, I want you to know what an honor it's been to accompany you to this vista in your journey. And I want each of you to know that we will always be there for you, just a phone call or a group me away. Today's vista is special. May the views from this day be a true, inspiring source of happiness for each and every one of you. The sort of happiness that comes from a true sense of accomplishment. Completing a marathon, hitting a grand slam, finishing Professor Wells's torts exam, surviving Kelly Casey's moot courts, and enduring Professor Barnett's Socratic method. As you reflect on all the efforts that brought you to this point, I hope you bask in the feelings of happiness and savor this moment. But as you do so, let me encourage you not just to look up the mountain at the next vista or toward the summit, but to look across the range at what the writer David Brooks calls the second mountain in his book of the same title. While the mountain you climb today is one of unmitigated happiness, the mountain across that range is one of joy. Brooks teaches us that the difference between happiness and joy is a subtle but essential to a life that is not just successful, but fulfilling. Happiness is the feeling that accompanies a personal sense of accomplishment. Joy transcends you. It derives from making a difference in the lives of others. In Brooks's words, joy is the gift that life gives you as you give your gifts away. Some of you probably have experienced this sense of joy. Performing community service, advocating a clinic, or simply being parents. If you have, you've started to traverse Brooks's second mountain. But here's the funny thing about joy. Joy is not always tied to accomplishment. Sometimes it's tied to adversity. I can confess that from my own experience. When hiking the Himalaya of happiness, you sometimes slide down an ice pit. And after we mend our broken bones or fractured egos, your perspective changes. One setback proves to be another course correction, something that releases us from our fixation on the goal and reveals a path to joy, making a difference in the lives of others. So on a day that is undeniably filled with happiness, please know that my hope for each and every one of you is that you also discover joy. And here's the thing. You don't have to look far to find it. It's all around you right now in this room. It's written on the faces of your families, your friends, the loved ones, two over there. Some who have traveled great distances to see you cross this stage today. And as Brooks reminds us, right now they're delighting in the glee on your face, the laughter in your voice, the progress in your journey. So I want all 200 of you right now to take a moment and find your families in the audience. Look around. And now that you've found them, now keep looking at them. I'm not done. Can I ask the family and friends of every single graduate here to stand up? And I want you, the members of the class of 2019, to join me in a round of resounding applause, screaming and shouting, hooting and hollering if you wish, to extend your thanks and appreciation to your personal base camp, who at this moment are filled with joy. And now let me introduce you to someone who's not just filled with joy, but also filled with happiness, not just completing law school, but having served as your class president, Mr. Brian Griffin. Brian hasn't seen my introduction. Brian is a Tifton, Georgia native and a graduate of Georgia Southern University. Since 2012, he's been deeply involved with the National Multiple Sclerosis Society. At law school, he served as an editor of the Law Review, class president, president of the Law Republicans, and co-leader of the Spanish study group at the Dean Rusk International Law Center. He also participated in the law school's Washington, D.C. program, where he worked in the office of the White House counsel. And following graduation, he plans to start his legal career as an associate with the law firm Oliver Maynor in Savannah. Your class president, Brian Griffin.
Wow. Wow. It's pretty crazy, right? You know, behind me sits the 82nd governor of Georgia, numerous Supreme Court clerks, legal scholars, leaders in their field. Some pretty amazing people, right? And all over here, we got some pretty amazing people there too, right? You know, we have people going to some great firms, people going into public interest, fighting for the indigent, the environment. We have state and federal clerks. We have people here that have won real trials and federal appeals during law school. It's awesome, right? But you get to listen to me. So what did I do? Well, I started Hawaiian Shirt Friday. And I won an uncontested election to give you this speech. And no, I'm not wearing a Hawaiian shirt today, but I want you to know, I considered it. So, do y'all remember where you were when you got your acceptance letter to the University of Georgia? That's kind of a special day. It's one of those big moments that you always remember. You know, I remember where I was, you know, like all successful people do right after college. I moved back in with my parents. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So, you know, I became a full-blown kid again. You know, I'm watching TV and eating snacks, raiding the pantry. You know, so one day it's in March, I'm in the kitchen eating some fruit gushers. Yeah, y'all know about fruit gushers? They're pretty good, right? But that acceptance letter was better. It was a lot better. See, Georgia was my number one school. This is where I always wanted to go to law school. I have a deep family connection to the University of Georgia. Today, I'll make 6 members of my immediate family who have a degree from the University of Georgia. So I knew about the tradition of excellence here, both in academics, athletics, and just the amazing traditions that this school has. And I was so happy to be able to take part in that, and I hope that y'all were too. At least for me, it didn't disappoint. We had some great times here, right? We had football games and tailgates, bar review, which we call networking. We're pretty good at networking, We had the days parties, and other good times like blowing 100% of your summer associate salary at the EJF auction. But it's all right because it's for charity. But we had the bad times too. We had cold calls, exams. We had the right on right after the exams. Who planned that? I want to talk to them. But even worse, we had Friday morning classes after Thursday night networking sessions at bar review. I also want to talk to whoever planned that. But we formed really lifelong bonds here, and I think our class is something special. And I hope that we will all stay together and keep in contact as we move on to the next chapter of our lives. We didn't do this alone. We had our professors, all these wonderful people here and back here, and others that couldn't make it, that tore us down and pushed us to new heights, that made us want to be more too. We had our parents who supported us all along the way. We couldn't have done it without them. So this day isn't just about us. It's like Dean Rutledge just said. This is about everybody here. I'm so glad we had the chance to give you all a round of applause. And I think it's true what they say. It takes a village to raise a child. But y'all just raised this village full of lawyers. What were y'all thinking? Let's hear it for our parents and our professors. We really are a historic class. We've accomplished a lot. We've learned the law. We've had many prestigious internships. We had people intern at the NATO headquarters, the SEC, and the Justice Department, that's just to name a few. And through our many clinics here at UGA Law, we had people that protected families from domestic violence, rescued animals from untold cruelty, and gave small businesses the legal foundation that they need to grow and succeed. And I feel confident that this class will go on to accomplish a lot of great things. I look forward to one day seeing all my classmates, y'all's names in prestigious papers like the Atlanta Journal-Constitution or the Wall Street Journal, the National Enquirer, learning of your latest court victories, re-elections, high-profile divorces. That'll be in the National Enquirer. But the class of 2019 is historic in another way. We had an extremely high participation rate in our class gift, with over 65% of the class giving to the law school fund. This is the highest participation rate in over a decade. And to put this into perspective, this is more than double the participation rate of 2017 and 2018. So I also want to applaud the law class of 2019 for your extraordinary generosity. So let's give it a hand. And today I challenge all Georgia Law alumni, including y'all, to get involved with the law school in some way, no matter how small, whether that's a financial donation or just your time and your mentorship. And but whatever it is, just get involved in some way, because our alumni involvement and our broader community is part of what makes this place so special. And I believe in the mission of this law school, that no student should have to go somewhere else for law school because a better legal education is afforded elsewhere. And The alumni community is a part of that, so I hope that you will stay involved in some way. And with that, I invite Dean Rutledge, former president of the Alumni Board, Wade Herring, and 3L Class Vice President, Laura Golden, to the stage for the presentation of the class gift. And now I'll introduce our next speaker, Mr. Wade Herring, who's a former Alumni Board president. He's a graduate of Dartmouth College and the University of Georgia School of Law. He's a current partner at Hunter McLean in Savannah, Georgia, and he's father to class of 2019 graduate Wade Herring III. Mr. Wade Herring.
Good morning. I am not Andy Childers, the incumbent Law School Association president. Andy flew home to Atlanta last night after a 4-week trial in Connecticut, and his body gave out on him. Not to worry, Andy is still in life, but I am reminded of the advice of my evidence professor, the late Vaughn Ball. Do not become a trial lawyer, he implored us. There are better ways to make a living. It kills the weak, and it drives the strong to drink. We wish Andy a speedy recovery, but the show must go on. I was council president in 2017. I am here today not as Andy's understudy, but because I am the father of a member of the class of 2019. Over the past 3 years, I've had this conversation with more than one of you. I have met you and I say, hello, my name is Wade Herring. My son is in your class. And you have replied, oh really? What's his name? And I have answered, Wade Herring. And you have said, are you his father? I know that law students are taught to question everything, but sometimes 1 + 1 really equals 2. Today, my earnest duty is to give you a trigger warning. Here it is. We are talking about leaving Athens. Some of you are here as undergraduates, and no doubt this has been the best decade of your life. Now all of you understand what a special place this is, not just Athens and the University of Georgia, but more specifically the law school. Fortunately, your relationship to this place does not end today, but has only just begun. You enter as students this morning and you will leave as alumni, joining 11,000 living law school alums who went before you, an unbroken red and black line dating back to 1859. As alums, you are automatically members of the Law School Association, but I invite you to stay more intentionally connected to your law school. In candor, one reason to stay connected is your enlightened self-interest. Your fellow alums are and will be leaders not only in the legal profession, but also in business, politics, and the judiciary, not just in our state, but throughout our nation and even the world. For example, sooner than you can appreciate, your peers will become judges. You will wonder what to call them. My very serious graduation day advice to you is this: call them judge. If they want you to call them something else, they will tell you. My graduation day prediction for you is this: they will not tell you. Staying connected to the law school offers rewards deeper and more meaningful than merely networking opportunities. Your continued friendships with fellow alums from across generations, not only your contemporaries, will add depth and meaning to both your professional and your personal lives. Your ongoing relationship with the university and our law school connects you to something larger than yourself. Today, we celebrate not only your achievements, but we also celebrate and affirm that this place matters. Institutions matter. Community matters. The rule of law matters. And even while we celebrate, we solemnly remember that the continued vitality of place and institution and community and rule of law are not guaranteed. As sons and daughters of this law school, you are called. You are called to cherish and support and defend this place, this community of scholars, your law school, with your time, talents, gifts, and service. Thank you for your class gift. It is the beginning of a tradition I hope you continue. With many schools, you get your degree and you are out and you are done. Not here. You go to the University of Georgia School of Law for the rest of your life. Today, at the same time, we send you out into the wide, wide world. I'm privileged to say, welcome home. We'll leave the light on. Congratulations to you and your families. May God bless.
Good morning, and congratulations, class of 2019. It is my privilege to speak briefly with you and everyone here honoring you in my capacity as Associate Dean for Faculty Development. It is especially meaningful to celebrate with you today, as this is the 20th anniversary of my own graduation from the University of Georgia School of Law in 1999. I remember well the excitement, relief, and nervousness of that glorious spring morning on the quad on North Campus. I also remember, as my colleagues and some of the other alums in the room will remember, the sun, the heat, the sweat under my robe, the paper fans, and the ice water dispensers to stave off heat stroke. So please take a moment to enjoy this climate-controlled environment. We've learned a few things over the last 20 years. My role this morning is to recognize the group of individuals sitting in front of you on the front row and those on the stage behind me, my colleagues, the faculty. This is the group of people whose job it has been, let me restate that, whose honor it has been to be your professors for the past 3 years. It is our life's work to help you prepare for your life's work, which we recognize at the end of the day may, or in some cases may not, involve the practice of law. In any event, the reason that we come to work in the morning is the opportunity to help you, our graduates, find your passions and pursue your dreams, to create a rich, varied, and stimulating intellectual environment, to share our expertise, and to be challenged by your insights and questions. With your University of Georgia law degree in hand, there should be no limits to what you can achieve. Our goal is to prepare you for that. I am so very proud of all of you. I am so very proud to be a fellow graduate with you, and I am so very proud to serve on this faculty. We include former prosecutors and public defenders, former corporate vice presidents and general counsel, former journalists, former U.S. Supreme Court clerks, doctors of medicine, history, mathematics, and other disciplines, award-winning fiddle players, award-winning book authors, and so much more. I'll now ask my talented and dedicated colleagues to please stand. Class of 2019 and distinguished guests, I introduce to you the faculty of the University of Georgia School of Law. Please join me in recognizing and thanking them.
Good morning. I'm Ellie Lanier, and I serve as the Associate Dean of our clinics and externship programs, and I'm also very grateful to have this opportunity to speak to you on behalf of the students, faculty, and staff who work with our 18 clinics and experiential learning programs, and I get to brag a little bit about their accomplishments and the character and integrity that they bring to their work. I'm honored to represent a dedicated team who, working with these talented graduates, modeled the very best aspects of lawyering. Today's graduates have had diverse experiences in our clinics and externships, and you've heard a little bit about them. This is kind of a long list, so just bear with me. They've tried cases under the supervision of Georgia prosecutors and public defenders, served state and federal judges, worked alongside government attorneys in federal and state agencies, assisted our local government in cases involving animal cruelty, advocated for survivors of child sexual assault, protected families from abuse, helped entrepreneurs establish legal entities for their businesses, assisted corporate counsel in profit and nonprofit enterprises, addressed the legal needs of the homeless and immigrant communities, represented veterans in obtaining benefits, still going, provided practical and realistic options to our local government leaders on seemingly intractable problems such as the wealth gap and climate change. They've won federal appeals for individuals with important cases who cannot afford a lawyer. They've helped parties resolve their own legal disputes in creative ways, and this list just scratches the surface. And they did all of this with professionalism, curiosity, and a healthy dose of self-reflection. Many of these graduates spent their summers working in unpaid public interest placements, and this class raised a record-breaking amount of money that will help to fund 90 students to pursue public interest work this summer. The sheer number and range of our offerings is impressive, and this is truly a great time at UGA Law for our clinical programs. But our successes are due in large part to the energy and heart that students put into their clinic and externship experiences. We are so grateful to have had the chance to learn from these graduates and to watch them learn from each other. It's a joy to see students find and pursue an area of law that lights a fire in them. And it's a gift to see and know the difference their work while here has made in the lives of others and in this world. It makes us all happy to know that you're just getting started, because we know the positive difference that you can and will make as you use the knowledge and skills that you've gained in your time here. And to our graduates, I'm going to end with the haiku. Do well and be well. We've learned much from each other. Let's use it for good. So now I have the pleasure of doing something very special, which is introducing one of my clinic students who's coming next, and it's Laura Golden. And she has a pretty brief bio. I said something to her mom last night, and she said that she was very humble, and I did notice that her bio did not include the fact that she was selected by her colleagues in the mediation clinic as the one who has handled the most challenging cases this past semester, and she was. So Laura was born and raised in Cooper City, Florida. She graduated from the University of Florida cum laude with a Bachelor of Science in Psychology. The following fall, Laura moved to Athens for her first year at the University of Georgia School of Law. Laura was involved with the Student Bar Association for all 3 years of her law school experience, and she served her peers as their class vice president. If she wasn't running home to walk her corgi buddy, you could always find Laura at the law library working the reference desk as a research assistant or at the office for the Georgia Journal of International and Comparative Law, fulfilling her duties as executive managing editor. She plans to start her legal career next fall as an associate with Downey and Cleveland in Marietta, Georgia. Pleased to turn it over to Laura. I'm going to give you a hug.
Hi, everyone. So I'm introducing our speaker, Governor Nathan Deal. Governor Nathan Deal is a Sandersville native who joined the United States Army and earned the rank of captain following his graduation from Mercer University with a law degree. He then began a private law practice in Gainesville, the hometown of his wife, Sandra Deal. While his wife taught in Hall County Public Schools, he began a career in public service, working as a prosecutor, judge, state senator, and U.S. congressman for the Georgia's 9th District. Deal became the 82nd governor of Georgia in 2011 and served 2 terms. As governor, he led Georgia to become the #1 state in the nation for businesses for 6 consecutive years, a first in Georgia history, and helped create more than 800,000 private sector jobs. During his tenure, Georgia's job growth outpaced the national average, while its population jumped from 10th to 8th nationally. Since leaving office on January 14th of this year, Governor Deal and Mrs. Deal have moved to North Georgia, where they enjoy the beauty of our state's natural and more rural areas. Governor Deal plans to teach the next generation of Georgia leaders by guest lecturing at universities and colleges throughout the state, including the University of Georgia. Mrs. Deal plans to continue her exceptional work promoting childhood literacy. The Deals now can also enjoy more time with their 4 adult children and 6 grandchildren. Please help me welcome Governor Deal.
Graduation day. What a memorable occasion. For most of you, it is the pinnacle of your academic career, but there are more mountains to climb. Things like the bar exam, job searches, and all the things that go with after you graduate from law school. However, this is a moment I want you to savor. I want you to take a look around at your fellow graduates, and when you do so, I want you to realize that none of you will ever be considered this smart again. So now you hold a Juris Doctor degree and are soon to be an attorney at law. But don't let these titles fool you. If you say you're a doctor, most people will think you can write a prescription. And please don't raise your hand when you're in a group and there's a medical emergency and somebody asks the question, is there a doctor in the house? Besides, it's not considered proper etiquette to use your newly acquired title. And please don't even go around telling people that you are an attorney at law. They'll probably think you're weird or worse. Just tell them you're a lawyer. Well, now that I've dulled the shine on your new titles, don't despair. To be a lawyer is all the title that you need. For after all, the mantra of our country is that we are a nation of laws and not of men. So as a lawyer, you have implicitly aligned yourself with the one profession that should guard, administer, and interpret the core values of our nation as embodied in the law. That's what makes being a lawyer such a high calling. But how should you survive as a member of our honored profession when the very title lawyer does not elicit very high marks in public opinion polls? Our society is sometimes shell-shocked by the constant noise of 24-hour news shows. And by the way, I think that's false advertising to call them news. We're bombarded by constant talk radio and television shows, by social media, where the restraints of libel and slander as a general rule cannot be applied. And in the midst of this, our high and lofty goals of living in a country where respect for the law and equal justice are often contorted, maligned, and manipulated. Since ours is a profession that is adversarial in nature, lawyers are found on both sides of these issues, engaging by pulling on the ropes in a proverbial tug of war to see who will be pulled into the proverbial quicksand of anarchy. Is it any wonder that the general public does not regard our profession very highly? So now that I've tarnished your newly acquired and hard-earned degrees, hopefully I've not disillusioned you, because your role is very important in the arena that you are now entering. So what can I say to encourage you? The best thing I can tell you is that good lawyers are desperately needed in our society. You will be the actors on the stage to whom the public will go in order to make sense of the application of the law in their lives. Some of you will be in legislative bodies that make the laws under which we live. I can tell you that good lawyers make good legislators because they know how to craft laws in such a way as to avoid unintended consequences. Some of you will be corporate attorneys where business will look to you for advice. Unfortunately, many of those clients will only ask you for your help after they've crossed the lines. Hopefully, in such cases, you can get them to come to you in the future before they make questionable business decisions. Some of you will be general practitioners, where you will prepare wills, deeds, contracts, and you will finally see the practical application of all those rules that you learned in law school, such as the rule against perpetuities. Others of you will be litigation attorneys, both in criminal and civil cases. You will put into practice those rules of evidence that you learned in law school. You will learn how to select jurors, how to prepare witnesses for depositions and trials, and you will learn the importance of common sense as you speak to jurors. No matter what type of lawyer you become, there are certain things that I hope you will remember, things that will elevate our profession, that will begin to restore the public confidence in the rule of law, and will make you a respected member of society. First of all, always respect the law. Respect it even if you don't agree with it. And if you don't agree with it, work to change it, because that's one of the great strengths of our system. It can be changed in a lawful manner. For those who choose to violate the law by way of protest, they should be willing to accept the punishment and the consequences of their actions. Because the great message of Gandhi and of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in their movements of nonviolent protest is that the most effective way to convince the public that a law is unjust is when the public sees the consequences of the law as imposed on nonviolent people. Secondly, respect the individuals who enforce the law. That includes law enforcement personnel, prosecutors, judges, and other lawyers who will be representing the other side of issues in which you are contending. Thirdly, Respect the other citizens who help make the legal system work. That includes courtroom personnel, jurors, and witnesses. Most definitely don't inconvenience witnesses and jurors by arbitrary delays. For after all, most of them are there because they are law-abiding citizens who make the system work, often at great personal inconvenience and expense. As an overarching principle, it is important that you always act in an ethical manner. You might assume that such admonition is unnecessary since we have rules of procedure, rules of evidence, and canons of ethics. What I'm saying to you is that you should have your own personal code of ethics that goes beyond the formal rules of conduct that I've just outlined. Such formal rules will always have gaps and are inflexible and difficult to adapt to changing situations. But if you have your own code of ethics, you will avoid the image that many people have of our profession. For when they see rules being avoided by schemes or clever arguments, they lose confidence in our system of government. Recently, a friend of mine, when she learned that I was going to be speaking to you graduates today, she said, the younger generation, that's you, needs to decide what justice means to them. As I've thought about this issue, I came to realize that defining justice is a much more difficult and complex undertaking than one might imagine. Justice is a word that finds prominence in the divisive political rhetoric of the world in which we live, with every side claiming that their opinions are the only true avenue to obtaining justice. Within our own legal profession, the public is bombarded by those who have seized upon television ads that claim that only they can adequately obtain justice for the viewing public. Their formula for doing so is couched in language of combat, in which the perceived enemies within our system must be bullied and intimidated so that their clients can receive all they are entitled to. This is a definition of justice that appeals to our entitlement mentalities. But is that the real definition of justice? As a trial lawyer for over 20 years, I can tell you, as will most experienced trial lawyers, that I have lost cases I should have won, that I have won cases that I should have lost. So within the adversarial system within which you're about to enter, is there really an infallible definition of justice? And if so, why would my friend couch her observations in generational terms? I cannot answer these questions for you today. Hopefully, you will contemplate them as you take them with you, hopefully, long after these caps and gowns are removed. For it is you who are going to be regarded by the public as the members of the profession that is expected to be the guardians who deliver liberty and justice for all. Many years ago, when I was a young attorney, I had researched an issue and concluded that the answer just did not seem to be fair. I was complaining to the senior partner of the firm about the injustice of it all, and he stopped me and gave me some of the best advice I ever received, and I will pass it on to you now. He said, you will find that the law does not always give you the answers that you want, but your job as a lawyer is to make it work. That's my message to you. Our system of law and justice may not be perfect, but it gives us the power to change it in a constitutional manner. Sometimes those changes come slowly, and sometimes not at all. But our system is the best in the world, and we should guard it carefully. For lawyers, our job is to make it work. And now that includes you. For we are lawyers all. Congratulations.
Good morning. My name is Randy Beck, and I'm the Law School's Associate Dean for Academic Affairs. I wanted to introduce to you the people who in a few minutes will be reading the names of today's graduates. Those receiving the Master in the Study of Law degree will be introduced by Allison G. Hale, the faculty advisor for the Master in the Study of Law program. The names of those receiving the Master of Laws degree will be read by Kathleen A. Doty, the director of the Dean Rusk International Law Center. They will be followed by the two faculty marshals selected by third-year students in the Juris Doctor program. Lonnie T. Brown, Jr. is the A. Gus Cleveland Distinguished Chair of Legal Ethics and Professionalism and a Josiah Meigs Distinguished Teaching Professor. Dan T. Coonan is a university professor and the law school's Harmon W. Caldwell Chair in Constitutional Law.
Okay, members of the class of 2019, it's your time. Well, this marks the end of your legal studies. I'm also mindful that it will be the final graduation for one of your teachers, my friend, your instructor, Associate Dean Mirsa Baradaran, who will be relocating with her family to California this summer. In recognition of her many years of dedicated service to you and to the institution, I invite Dean Baradaran to the podium to my left, formally to present you as candidates, and then to join me in congratulating you as you prepare to cross the stage.
Dean Rutledge, on behalf of the faculty of the University of Georgia School of Law, I am pleased to introduce the candidates for the degrees Masters in the Study of Law, Master of Law, and Juris Doctorate. Will the candidates please rise?
By the authority vested in me by the Board of Regents of the University System of Georgia, by and through the President and the Provost of the University of Georgia, I now confer upon you the degree Master in the Study of Law, Master of Laws, and Juris Doctor, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereto. Congratulations. Everyone except for the first row of students may now be seated. The marshals will conduct the recipients to the stage. As your name is called, please proceed across the stage and accept congratulations from Dean Baradaran, Governor Deal, Mr. Herring, and myself. Will the candidates in the first row please stand and follow the marshals?
Master in the Study of Law. Stacy A. Chavis. Madeline J. Fagan. Elizabeth A. Summerall.
Master of Laws, Paolo V. Cariello Perez. Cristina G. Aguia Martins. Jerry Day. Linda Emanor. Teresa Fariña Núñez. Chung V. Quat. Ma Ning. Eng H. Pham. Rosari Sarasvati.
Juris Doctor. Michael Ackerman. Carolyn M. Adams. Dina A. Agami. Brianna N. Anderson. Scott H. Andrews. Diamond A. Anthony. Ezekiel Arthur. Samuel Chase Baker. Kayla H. Barnes. Wade H. Barron. Mark D. Boyer II. Anna C. Brow. Andrew M. Brill. Cody M. Brown. Lauren E. Brown. Amy E. Bice. J. Hilliard Burton. John T. Cahigas. Casey W. Callahan. Megan E. Cambry. Zihan Chen. Shumi Chowdhury. Spencer E. Clark. Austin C. Cohen. Earl W. Cook, Jr. Jennifer L. Cotton. James T. Cox. Keelan C. Cronin. Edward M. Culver III. Robert L. Daly. James W. Darden. Jacob D. Davis. Shanice M. Dennis. Aaron E. Doyle. Garrett Dragish. Nicholas C. Duffy. Vesela Z. Imanovska. Margaret W. Evans. Shadi F. Fossey. Kelly C. Fields. Sarah Lanier Flanders. Sydney R. Floyd. Mitchell L. Flynn III. Simone I. Ford. Abigail C. Fry. Bradley A. Gerke. Lauren N. Gimbalvo. Carly H. Gish. Laura R. Golden. Gabriel Gonzalez Acevedo. Danielle L. Goshen. Allison J. Goins. Roger C. Grantham, Jr. Thomas P. Grantham. Brian D. Griffin. Catherine C. Hagerman. Madison L. Hahn. Robert H. Harrison II. John B. Helton. Wade W. Herring III. Amanda T. Hafer. Katie Elizabeth Holland. Ted S. Huggins. Wellman Brady Hughes. Randall A. Hurston. Mary Griffin Insco. Danielle N. Jacobs. Clifton M. Jakes. Seth P. Johnson. Jade K. Jordan. Thomas W. Jurgens. Gabriel Justice. Christopher J. Kelleher. Kevin M. Kettner. Davis M. Kimball. Jared K. Coble. Christopher L. Kolb. Thayer J. Colbo. Vasilina D. Kotseva. Connor A. Kruger. Mei-Ling Lam Kwok Holt. Brooks L. Land. Johnson T. Laney. Tammy Lee. Dana Leader. Melina D. Lewis. George T. Ligon II. Zachariah W. Lindsay. Victoria Leo. Curtis Daniel Lockerbie.
Carla L. Martinez. Mary L. Matthews. John M. McCall. Jacob T. McClendon. Meredith L. McClure. Megan L. McDonough. Madeline O. McElhennon. Gary J. McGinty. Hayden A. McCree. Richard A. Meadows. Matthew Meal. Rebecca McBain Millhouse. Sarah Anise Mirza. Elizabeth K. Modzaleski. John W. Monroe. Savannah Harrison Moon. Stephen A. Mulheron III. Aaron M. Munger. Patrick E. Knoxheim. Joseph A. Nat. Amanda W. Newton. Haley A. Nikolic. Nicole K. Neely. Thomas B. Norton. Matthew Knoxall. Michael G. Nunnally. Liddy E. O'Brien. Nils H. Okeson, Jr. Azare K. Ori. Kyle J. Palladino. Kushbu Pramod Patel. Amanda M. Payne. Garrett B. Peters. Catherine L. Phillips. Ansley Taylor Platt. Matthew Ryan Paletti. Morgan Ann Pollard. Philip Thomas Poole. Sarah Ann Quattrochi. Gabriel B. Ragsdale. W. Davis Riddle. Margaret Ellen Roberts. Connor J. Rose. Robert Lee Russell IV. Taylor Ann Samuels. Emily Elizabeth Seaton. Meryl Catherine C. Julia Mary Shelburne. Grant M. Shope. Juan M. Silva. Audrey N. Skaggs. Miles C. Skedsvold. Tamia A. Skelton. John A. Skubina. Andrew L. Smallwood. Warren Furman Smith. Sarah V. Snipes. Kelly N. Spearman. Aaron P. Spratlin. Nicholas A. Steinheimer. Will Stewart. Adam C. Taylor. Morgan R. Thomas. Taylor L. Thomas. Ezra J. Thompson. Michael L. Thompson. Catherine G. Thorne. Benjamin A. Torres. Alexis F. Trumbull. Richard Toulis. Kayla L. Upchurch. John J. Van Wy. Charles Vanden Heuvel. Rebecca J. Joachim. Lauren B. Wallace. Alexander H. Weathersby. Noah J. White. Brooke A. White. Benjamin D. Wild. Eric M. Wilder. Kristen K. Williams. Sydney R. Wilson. Adam Wittenstein. Lindsay B. Woodard. Phillips S. Workman. Faith Donnell Worley. Catherine V. Weimer. Allison Lee Yorick. Joseph M. Zanoni.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you the University of Georgia School of Law class of 2019. Okay, here's what's going to happen. I don't really know. In a moment, the band's going to strike up the recessional. The platform party will recess, followed by the graduates. At that point, all of you are welcome to meet your graduates here or outside as you arrange. In about 3 hours, the beautiful facility here is going to host another graduation, and the hardworking crew that was here before I arrived at 7 a.m. is going to prepare this place. So before we recess, if I could ask all of you to join me in thanking all the hardworking unsung heroes who have been here for upwards of 7 hours making this place beautiful. So after we've recessed, feel free to come down on the floor, take all the photos you want, and then as you had a chance to do so, make way to the exits and turn the facility over to that hardworking crew. Congratulations.